Hi, I am Esther Cuadrado, researcher at the University of Córdoba in Spain, and in this presentation I will resume our investigation about the differential impact of stay-at-home orders on mental health in adults who are homeschooling or childless at home in time of COVID-19. The COVID-19 pandemic has forced the confinement of most population worldwide through stay-at-home orders. Children have continued their education process at home, supervised by parents who, in most cases, have adopted the role of prime drivers of their learning processes. In this context, we aim to explore the psychological impact of confinement, particularly by comparing the population with children at home who are involved with homeschooling and those who are not involved with homeschooling. The sample consisted of 400 participants residing in Spain with a mean age of 43 years old and a majority of women. Depending on whether they had children living with them and whether they were involved with homeschooling during this confinement time, the sample was divided into three groups. Group 1 comprised individuals without children at home during this time. Group 2 comprised individuals with children at home and who spent little or no time on homeschooling. And Group 3 comprised individuals with children at home who spent more time with homeschooling. The different measures used were the appraisal of discomfort due to the homeschooling experiences with two different factors, namely the lack of social support provided by teachers and school staff perceived by parents due to the homeschooling, and the stress directly associated with parents' new role. It means homeschooling stress. We also measured loneliness, stress, and anxiety. As expected, confinement increased perception of anxiety and stress for the three groups. Moreover, perceived perceptions of stress and anxiety during the confinement were higher in people who spent more time with homeschooling than in people who spent little time or no time with homeschooling and people without children at home. The change in perceptions of loneliness was significant for adults without children at home and adults who spent more time to homeschooling as expected, but not for adults who spent little time to homeschooling. Moreover, parents with children at home who spent little time to homeschooling felt less lonely than the other two groups between which no differences were found. These results may be explained by the fact that having children at home but not being overwhelmed with homeschooling tasks that may enhance the feeling of helplessness could protect individuals from the implication of confinement on loneliness. As expected, parents who spent more versus less time on homeschooling experienced more homeschooling stress and perceived less social support due to homeschooling. These results are relevant because the appraisal of discomfort due to homeschooling may be construed as a lack of resources to cope effectively with stress in the confinement situation, resulting in higher stress and anxiety levels. Finally, the different relations among variables were also supported, being confirmed the predictive model of stress that appears on the screen. In conclusion, anxiety and stress perception increased in the 3 observed groups during confinement, providing evidence for the impact of the confinement on mental health. Moreover, this effect was higher for parents who dedicated more time to homeschooling than for parents who dedicated less time and for individuals without children at home. Additionally, regarding loneliness, parents who dedicated little time to homeschooling were protected from the confinement effect, whereas the other 2 groups suffered an increase in loneliness. These results suggested that homeschooling is associated with the negative effect that confinement has on mental health outcome. Moreover, parents who dedicated more time to homeschooling felt unprotected due to the confinement and stressed due to the homeschooling compared to parents who dedicated little time to homeschooling. Finally, loneliness and discomfort due to homeschooling explain the anxiety and stress levels suffered by parents during confinement, with the variables related to homeschooling particularly relevant for parents who dedicated more time to homeschooling. The significance of this study relies both on the fact that the relation of homeschooling due to the COVID-19 with parental mental health outcomes has not been explored before, as well as findings about the differential impact of confinement in the 3 observed groups. The major implications are that health professionals must pay special attention to parents who dedicated more time to homeschooling due to the pandemic confinement. Moreover, the government, health services, and schools must emphasize social support provision for families in a forced homeschooling situation. Thank you very much, and I hope you will enjoy the study.